Are you truly free? Or are you fighting in a new kind of arena? One built not of stone and sand, but of deadlines, debt, and endless grind. When you wake up and check your phone before you even breathe in the morning air, whose battle are you really entering? When you stay up late chasing another deadline, another sale, another email, are you not fighting a lion just as fierce as the gladiators of old? The Colosseum may be gone, but the fight remains. Only now, it's not for survival, it's for approval. And before we continue, let me share something with you. Almost 98% of the people watching this right now are not subscribed. If you find meaning here, if you want to keep exploring these truths with me, consider subscribing. It helps me keep creating, and it ensures you don't miss the next battle of ideas. Now, let's step back into the arena. Picture this. 2,000 years ago, a gladiator stands in the center of the Colosseum. The crowd roars above him, 50,000 voices demanding blood, demanding spectacle. His heart pounds against his chest as he grips his sword, knowing that his life depends on their approval. He fights not because he chooses to, but because he must. He is a slave to their entertainment, a prisoner of their expectations. Victory means another day of life, but defeat means death. Yet even in victory, he remains chained to the next fight, the next performance, the next desperate attempt to earn the crowd's fleeting applause. Now picture this. You, sitting at your desk at 11 o'clock at night, the blue light of your laptop casting shadows across your tired face. Your phone buzzes with another notification, another demand for your attention. Your inbox overflows with urgent requests that weren't urgent yesterday and won't matter tomorrow. You scroll through social media, watching others perform their perfect lives, feeling the familiar sting of comparison. You tell yourself you're building something, that you're hustling toward freedom, but deep down, you know the truth. You're fighting for approval just as desperately as that gladiator ever did. The arena has simply changed its shape. The modern gladiator doesn't face lions. They face burnout. They don't dodge spears. They dodge anxiety attacks. They don't fight for their lives. They fight for likes, for promotions, for the next milestone that promises to finally make them whole. But here's what we've forgotten in our rush toward more. The gladiators' chains were visible. Ours are invisible, which makes them infinitely more dangerous. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, who understood both power and its emptiness, once wrote, "It is not death that a man should fear, but never beginning to live." How many of us are dying a slow death in the very pursuit of what we think is living? We've confused motion with progress, busyness with purpose, exhaustion with achievement. We wear our stress like a badge of honor, our sleepless nights like medals of dedication. But what are we really dedicating ourselves to? The statistics paint a sobering picture of our modern arena. Over 77% of workers report experiencing regular burnout, not occasional stress, but chronic, soul-crushing exhaustion that follows them home, into their relationships, into their dreams. More than 40% of adults admit they feel constantly overwhelmed by daily responsibilities, trapped in a cycle of endless demands that seem to multiply faster than they can be met. Stress-related illnesses cost the global economy hundreds of billions of dollars each year, but the true cost cannot be measured in currency. It's measured in lost moments with loved ones, in creativity suffocated by anxiety, in the quiet desperation of people who have everything they thought they wanted but feel emptier than ever. This is our Colosseum, and we are both the gladiators and the crowd. We cheer for the hustle, we celebrate the grind, we applaud those who sacrifice their health, their relationships, their peace of mind on the altar of productivity. We've created a culture that worships exhaustion and mistakes suffering for strength. But the ancient Stoics knew something we've forgotten. True strength isn't found in enduring endless battles. It's found in choosing which battles are worth fighting at all. Epictetus, who knew slavery intimately because he lived it, understood freedom in ways that our comfortable lives have obscured. He taught us that no man is free who is not master of himself. Think about that for a moment. How can we call ourselves free when we're slaves to our notifications, to our need for external validation, to the endless hunger for more that can never be satisfied? The gladiator was owned by his master, but we are owned by our desires, our fears, our desperate need to prove our worth to a world that will never stop demanding proof. The gladiator fought because he had no choice. We fight because we think we have no choice, but that's the cruelest illusion of all. We've convinced ourselves that the arena is the only place to be, that the fight is the only way to live. We've forgotten that we hold the key to our own cage. Consider the modern worker arriving at the office before dawn and leaving long after sunset. They tell themselves they're building a future, securing their family's well-being, climbing the ladder of success. But what future are they building if they're too exhausted to enjoy it? What security are they creating if they're too stressed to appreciate it? What ladder are they climbing if each rung takes them further from the person they used to be? The gladiator fought lions, but we fight something far more insidious. We fight ourselves. We fight our need for rest, our desire for connection, our longing for meaning beyond the next deadline. We've turned our own humanity into the enemy, convinced that feelings are weaknesses and boundaries are failures. We've created a world where saying no is seen as laziness and self-care is seen as selfishness. But here's what the Stoics understood that we've forgotten. The fight was never supposed to be against ourselves. The fight was supposed to be for ourselves, for our peace, our wisdom, our ability to live with intention rather than reaction. Seneca, who knew wealth and power intimately, warned us that it is not the man who has too little that is poor, but the one who always wants more. How prophetic those words seem in an age where we have more than any generation in history, yet feel poorer than ever in the things that truly matter. The gladiator's victory was measured in survival, but what is our victory measured in? Is it the size of our bank account, the number of our followers, the prestige of our title? If victory means exhaustion, is it really victory? If applause fades, was it ever worth the fight? What are you truly fighting for? And more importantly, who are you fighting for? The crowd in the Colosseum was fickle. They cheered for blood one moment and forgot the gladiator's name the next. Our modern crowd is no different. The likes fade. The promotions become yesterday's news. The achievements that once felt so important gather dust in the corner of our memory. We're fighting for the approval of people who will move on to the next spectacle as soon as we stop performing. We're sacrificing our lives for applause that echoes for a moment and then disappears into silence. The Stoics offer us a different path, a way out of the arena that doesn't require us to abandon our ambitions, but to transform our relationship with them. They teach us that freedom isn't found in having more, it's found in needing less. Not less in terms of settling for mediocrity, but less in terms of external validation, less dependence on circumstances beyond our control, less attachment to outcomes that we cannot guarantee. Marcus Aurelius, who had every reason to believe in the importance of external achievement, reminded himself daily that very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. This wasn't the philosophy of someone who had given up on life. This was the wisdom of someone who had achieved everything the world could offer and discovered that the real treasure was never in the achievement itself, but in the person he became through the pursuit. The modern gladiator believes that freedom lies on the other side of success, that peace waits at the end of the hustle, that happiness is the reward for enough suffering. But the Stoics knew better. They understood that freedom, peace, and happiness are not destinations to be reached, but ways of being to be cultivated. They are not the prize for winning the fight. They are the reason to stop fighting altogether. This doesn't mean abandoning our goals or embracing mediocrity. It means pursuing our ambitions from a place of inner strength rather than inner emptiness. It means working toward our dreams without being enslaved by them. It means understanding the difference between effort and struggle, between dedication and desperation, between building something meaningful and simply staying busy enough to avoid the silence where our deepest questions live. The gladiator had no choice but to enter the arena, but we do. Every morning, we choose whether to step into the Colosseum of comparison, competition, and endless striving, or whether to walk a different path altogether. We choose whether to measure our worth by external metrics or internal wisdom. We choose whether to live as slaves to our circumstances or as masters of our responses. But here's the paradox that the Stoics understood so well. The moment we stop desperately chasing external validation is often the moment we become most capable of achieving external success. When we're no longer fighting for approval, we can focus on excellence. When we're no longer driven by fear, we can be guided by wisdom. When we're no longer slaves to outcomes, we become free to give our best effort without attachment to results. The gladiator's strength was in his sword, but our strength is in our ability to choose our thoughts, our responses, our values. No one can take that from us unless we give it away. No boss can steal our peace unless we hand it over. No deadline can rob us of our dignity unless we surrender it. No social media platform can diminish our worth unless we let it. This is the revolution that the Stoics offer us. Not a revolution against the world, but a revolution within ourselves. Not a fight against external circumstances, but a mastery of our internal responses. Not an escape from responsibility, but a deeper understanding of what we're truly responsible for and what lies beyond our control. The modern world will always offer us new arenas to fight in, new crowds to please, new lions to face. There will always be another deadline, another goal, another person to impress. The question is not whether these challenges will come. They will. The question is whether we will face them as slaves or as free people, whether we will fight from desperation or from strength, whether we will measure our worth by the crowd's applause or by our own integrity. If this reflection has made you pause, if it's made you question the life you're fighting for, remember this: almost everyone who finds these videos never subscribes. If you want more wisdom like this, if you want to keep exploring these ancient truths with me, hit subscribe and stay with us. Because the real fight isn't out there, it's within. The Stoics teach us that the highest form of strength is not in conquering others, but in conquering ourselves. Not in accumulating more, but in needing less. Not in fighting every battle, but in choosing wisely which battles deserve our energy. The gladiator fought because he was forced to. We fight because we choose to. And in that choice lies both our greatest vulnerability and our greatest power. The arena will always be there, waiting for us to step inside, waiting for us to sacrifice our peace for its promises. The crowd will always be ready to cheer for our struggles and forget our names. The lions of stress, anxiety, and endless striving will always be hungry for our attention. But we have something the gladiator never had. We have the key to walk away. Walking away doesn't mean giving up. It means giving up the illusion that our worth depends on external validation. It means giving up the belief that we must earn our right to peace, happiness, and self-respect. It means giving up the exhausting performance of trying to be everything to everyone and embracing the radical act of being true to ourselves. The Colosseum never really disappeared. It simply transformed. It lives in offices, in boardrooms, in endless to-do lists, and in the glowing lights of our phones. But the Stoics remind us, the greatest victory is not in conquering the world, it is in conquering yourself. So I leave you with a question. Are you a modern gladiator, chained to the crowd's applause? Or are you ready to step out of the arena, guided not by hustle, but by wisdom, peace, and true freedom?